Hello everyone, Johnny Hurricane here from GamersHeroes.com, and today we're going to be going over actually, just why everything scored where it did on the NPDs. Let's get started. Alright, so if you're not clear what the NPDs are, first off, basically it is sales of video games in North America, some of which do include digital, some of which do not, and basically what I want to go over today is normally it's like, when I do these videos, I'm like, why did you do something stupid? Today it's more of a, well, why did this one do so well type of deal. Some of them are no-brainers. First off, we should mention that 35% boost in video games year over year. March did very well, thanks to coronavirus, unfortunately. Most of us stuck inside, so spending has gone up on that. So let's go ahead and get into the raw numbers. Before I get started on the numbers here, after all this is done, at the end, I'm going to go down the list and basically say what I think this is going to do for the stock of said company. I've been investing in video game companies for a few years now, and I ain't gonna say I do great, but I do all right. So anyways, let's get into it. I got my little list right here, and number one, Animal Crossing New Horizons, right? That's the number one selling game of March in North America. Let's just go ahead and say it's number one selling game worldwide. This isn't really a surprise to me. This game has got a lot of hype. Oh, also worth mentioning that Nintendo doesn't give out digital numbers to the NPD, so this is physical sales, which is, hey, I don't know how you did it. All the stores around me are closed, but good on you. I guess Amazon shipments and stuff like that as well. But so this is number one. This is a game. It's not a surprise to me, but I think it is a surprise to some people. Those of us who don't get Animal Crossing, it is a surprise. Like, what is the appeal to it? First off, a lot of this is going to be like, well, coronavirus, right? Coronavirus. We're stuck inside. We got to play video games. Put this down because I'm just swinging it around. That's part of it. It's maybe even a big-ish part of it for people that don't generally play it, but it's also the community. This is a game that is very, very social media active. And I don't mean like Nintendo Friend Code. I mean like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of that. Turn up prices. It's very much a game you play with multiple people. And that is something that a lot of us are lacking right now because we can't leave. Well, we can't go see other people. So it is sort of helping to fill that void, at least a little bit, which definitely helped it sell that well. Then, of course, there is the second part of it, which is FOMO, fear of missing out. If you miss a day, you don't know what was in your shop, which means you missed a potentially cool item. Maybe you missed an arcade thing. Maybe you missed... For me, for instance, I have 3 of the wrestling rings. I need the 4th piece to complete the wrestling ring. So now I have to go in every day and try and find that 4th piece. Still hasn't come out. As I said, not surprising to me, not surprising to those of us who actually like Animal Crossing, but probably surprising to people that don't understand the appeal of it. And it is a game that if you don't play it, it's hard to understand. Just looking at it from the outside, like, what am I doing? I'm just digging up stuff, putting trees down, fishing. Not really any clear, like, leveling system, you know what I mean? It's like, you are upgrading it, you're just upgrading an island, and you're doing it very basically at that. If you compare what you can do in your house to what you can do outside of the island, yes, you can terraform, but you can't do that top-down view and actually place stuff the way... Listen, if they had done that, it would have been great. Terraforming is a bit of a hassle, in my opinion, but anyways. Number one, not surprising. A little surprising that it didn't have the digital sales included, which... probably means that it's going to be one of the top selling games of the year, if it isn't already. It probably is because there hasn't been that many games. But I think as we get to the end of the year, it'll still be probably, it's still early, but I'm going to say top 3 because Call of Duty is going to be number 1 because it always is. Assuming it comes out. Actually, there is that thing. We don't know if all these games are coming out, so it could be number 1, but not without digital. All right, number 2. Pull out my little book here. This one is a little surprising. It is and it isn't. Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which came out last year. Again, I think a lot of this has to do with coronavirus. A lot of people have Call of Duty, and if you're looking for something to play with your friends, you jump into Call of Duty. The other thing is a lot of people like myself who have kind of backed out of Call of Duty just because, like, it's such a time sink, right? And you know that you're never going to be as good as you were in Modern Warfare 2. You're just not going to be. Sorry, that's me, right? I'm not calling nukes anymore. I just can't do it. But at the same time, now all you have is time. So why not? Why not pick up Call of Duty? You know you can easily get 100 hours out of it if you at least enjoy it. If if you have someone to play it with and all that. On top of that, you also have the Battle Royale mode that came out, Warzone. And there is a little bit of a perk, well, kind of a big perk, really, if you do have Call of Duty Modern Warfare, because you can call in your, what are they called? You call in a care package and then you get your loadout. Your loadout is your guns from Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I think you can still do this in the original, or with just the base of Warzone, but it's harder to level them up because you don't, when you're in Warzone, you pick up guns, right? It's just randomized. When you're playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare, you pick which guns you want to use, you level them up, you get your sights, all yada, yada, yada. And at the end of the game, towards the end of the game, I've won a couple of those. It's always players with their loadouts. So there is some synergy going on with this right now. That, of course, and Call of Duty is the hugest freaking franchise. It isn't, but it is one of the biggest franchises, and one of those ones that keeps selling year after year. We will get in. I'm going to get into this one more specifically towards the end about the stocks, but it's a good sign for them. But I don't think it's going to last. All right, number 3. This one was a little surprising to me. It always ranks in the top. I believe it always ranks in the top 10. Normally it's like number 8, and that's MLB The Show. This is a Sony joint, but I think it's actually on Xbox. Pretty sure they released it to everywhere. Number 3 is a pretty big deal for this. This is a pretty big jump. But again, I do think this mainly has to do with Corona and the fact that we're not really sure if baseball season is coming. We're going to see down the line. There's another game that is like similar to that, a sports game. So this may be the only type of baseball you're going to get this year. And again, Corona-wise, this is a game you can just sit down, play through a single season. And when I say a single season, I haven't played since like MLB 17, 16. But a season is a long time, and it is one of those perfect games where you just, if you've got time, this is where it can go pretty easily. But if you're not a baseball fan, you're not really going to be interested in it. Still, I'm very surprised. Number 3, that is a pretty big jump. Even for a 35% increase in sales of video games generally, that's a pretty big jump. Now that I'm thinking about it, if it did release on Xbox and PC as well, that would actually account for the additional, never mind. So maybe this is just the new normal for them, plus the Corona. It'd probably go up to like 5 or 4 as opposed to 8. I don't really, like I said, I haven't played it since like 17, so I don't know a ton about this series. I do know those that play it generally like it and they generally stick to it. Another big bonus from this was we had, I don't think it was last year, but the years before, we had the PlayStation Plus, we had free ones, so a lot of us got to try it out and figure out, I don't really like watching baseball, but playing baseball, because you got that little square, it is super satisfying to hit a home run. That's all I'm going to say. All right, let's go to number 4. Number 4, this. I thought this would be a little lower because of all the negative press surrounding the length of it. Resident Evil 3, the Resident Evil 3 remake. Now, it had a big upswing going in because of Resident Evil 2 remake, which was fantastic. Resident Evil 3 remake pretty much immediately got slated for its lack of length, lack of replayability. You can replay it, but you're doing the same thing. You just have like infinite rocket launcher, infinite grenade launcher, whatever. Not really my thing. I didn't go through it twice. I went through Resident Evil 2 4 times, I think. Well, 2 back-to-back. Basically, I started with Leon, then played Claire, then started with Claire, played Leon. So that's what I did. I had no desire to do that for Resident Evil 3. And then, of course, Resident Evil Resistance was a trash. Not a good replacement for Mercenaries. So I actually thought this would not score very well. Worth noting that this is based, NPDs are based upon numbers. Money. How much money is spent. So $60 game, you're going to score higher if you sell more units. It's not based upon simply how many units have been pushed out. It's based upon actual dollars. So again, number 4 for Resident Evil 3 is a little surprising. I really did think that the social media surrounding this and all the comments about how 4 hours isn't enough, 3 hours isn't enough, I really didn't think it was going to do that well. But maybe Resident Evil 2 had enough to back it up. I don't know. Could just be, again, coronavirus. We're all stuck inside. You're going to hear me say that a lot. Coronavirus, yeah, that's what it is. 8. That's where it's at. Congratulations. I would expect this one to, this is one of the games, like it's 3 this month. I bet in April, this is going to be, if it's even on the list, it's going to be towards the bottom of like the top 20. But we'll see next month. All right, so number 5, and we were just talking about MLB The Show. Number 5 is NBA 2K. This is not surprising. This is expected because March Madness. Obviously, the NBA season, it is where it is now. But still, I think that actually improved the fact that people were like, oh, well, you know what? Now I'm not getting my basketball fix. I got to go get it somewhere else. Boom, there you go, NBA 2K, perfect. Now, this, as I said, was kind of expected, right? Because of March Madness, I was expecting it to be within the top 10. Top 5, I don't know, that seems a bit much. You gotta remember, these games are still microtransaction gamble. NBA 2K, while it has solid gameplay, is trying to milk you for every cent it can. And hey, number 5, congratulations. All right, number 6, Doom Eternal. This one had an asterisk next to it as well, so I believe we did not get digital sales. I think this one might have actually been a little bit higher for the if it had digital sales, but this isn't too surprising. Number 6 isn't a bad spot to be in March, especially. It was pretty heavy competition, especially because it released on the same day as Animal Crossing, and we're in a spot now where $60 might not be such a big deal for some people, but $120 is a big deal for some people, right? Like, people don't have the money to spend on 2 games that are $60. They just don't. And if you're gonna look, well, do I want Doom Eternal, which is probably gonna stress me out because it can get hectic, or do I want to play Animal Crossing, which is pretty much chill, and really that's what I need right now. So Animal Crossing wins out in that event. Still, Doom Eternal was pretty solid. Number 6, like I said, probably more like number 5 with the digital sales. I would assume Bethesda is happy with it. We probably won't know for a while because they're not a publicly traded company. So really don't know either way if it is good or bad. I liked it, but you know, I'm only one guy that's buying one game. So, all right, number 7, this. Number 7, what happened? Persona 5 Royal. What happened? How did this make number 7? This game came out last year. I believe it ranked in the top 10, but I can't recall exactly. Who bought this game again? That is my question. It's a very long RPG, so I get that. You've got a lot of time right now. You can spend that, but it's also one of those games that I could never see myself going through again just because of the fact that there are those time restraints, right? Like especially in the early months of the game where it's like, oh yeah, no, you gotta go to bed. The cat says you gotta go to bed, go to bed. No, you gotta go to bed, go to bed. It's just like, no, I couldn't see myself. I refuse to believe that number 7, now this does not, obviously I have no idea how many units that means, but there's no way there's that many people who haven't played Persona 5. And to make that number, I don't know. Listen guys, we gotta stop rebuying these things because then they keep doing it. See, this stuff should have been in the game originally, but it wasn't. And now it's number 7, which means they're gonna be happy about it because, hey, you're in the top 10, which means money. I don't know. Hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there was a lot more to it than I thought, but I'm pretty sure it was just a new character, which you probably can't even use until halfway through the game. New dungeons and some new interactions between the characters, which again, could have been $20 DLC instead of $60 brand new game. But hey, it is what it is. Number 8, now surprise, GTA 5. Do I really need to go into this? GTA 5 just keeps going. It'd be more of a surprise if GTA 5 was not in the top 10. Number 9, Borderlands 3. This is an interesting one. I believe it released on Steam in March. I don't know if it was March or February. I don't really know. I have to assume that this is because this is a very much Corona one, right? We're all stuck at home. We need something to play together. Borderlands 3. That's my assumption, because I don't actually know if they count PC sales on the NPDs. My gut is telling me they don't, actually. But number 9, yeah, that's a pretty big bump, pretty big jump. I think it was like number 19 or 20 of the month before. So, yeah, good on Borderlands, I guess. Keeps on trucking. And number 10, Mario Kart. Mario Kart. You want to talk about a game that keeps on trucking? Mario Kart. Mario Kart 8, mind you. This is not even a new Mario Kart. I don't know who doesn't have Mario. It's a similar GTA. Who doesn't have GTA? Who doesn't have Mario Kart at this point? That's where I'm at with this. And just to wrap up the top 15, Neo 2, kind of surprising that it hit number 11. Kind of thought it'd be higher, but it's also a very long game and a very hard game. And I think a lot of players, when they got Neo 1, realized that maybe this isn't their jam, and that's the effects of Neo 2 having lower lower sales. Also, Neo 1 was free on PlayStation Plus, so if you played through that, you probably feel like you're playing the same game. You're not, but at the same time, I understand that you feel that way. Number 12, Red Dead 2. I believe this is the exact same spot it was in February, so congratulations. Interesting, it is and it isn't, right? GTA 5 keeps selling, it's still in the top 10, Red Dead's number 12. Red Dead's just not as good as GTA 5, that's the fact. It is in story mode, but it's not multiplayer mode. 13, FIFA. Hey, sure, why not? 14, Smash Brothers. Again, that game with legs. And 15, the only new one on there in the top 15, or in the bottom 15, or no, Neo was there. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, also at number 15, but that's a remaster, so I don't really, whatever. I don't really count that. So what we can take away from this is Animal Crossing is super popular. It doesn't matter if you get it or not, it is. And it's gonna keep going because we don't have digital sales. The other thing that we can take away from this is that people are, despite the fact that a lot of us like to hate on Call of Duty, it's still extremely popular. And there's no reason that it should stop its upward trend. Like I said, Modern Warfare probably will drop down a bit, but I think the new one, which has been rumored to be Call of Duty Vietnam, zero reason why that should not do well if it makes its date. The only, like I said, the most interesting one to me on here is Persona 5 Royale. A lot of people either double dipped or a ton of people were finally just like, you know what, F it, I'm gonna dive into a JRPG. But I don't know why they wouldn't wait for Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yeah, whatever. All right, oh, also worth mentioning that because I was talking about Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the remaster of Modern Warfare 2 was number 20, which, not bad for a game that old, because I'm pretty sure it doesn't even have multiplayer. I didn't actually look a ton of that up, but yeah, no Russian, that's probably why it sold. Yeah, so overall, pretty healthy. Oh, Nintendo Switch, number 1 console that was sold. That should be obvious, right? When it's got a big game like Animal Crossing New Horizons, it's gonna be the number 1. And if you're looking for a Switch right now, I'm sorry for you, it sucks. I know that things are not, I know they're sold out everywhere. It is what it is. I hope you can find one eventually. So yeah, nothing really too surprising on here. This is just something I like to talk about a lot. I really do like the NPDs. I really like the numbers. I really like to see how much a game does. And without any surprises, that's okay. That's all right. That's how it, that's really how it should be. I guess it is a little bit off because of what's going on in the world right now, but still, everything looks fine, healthy video game wise. We're still kind of waiting because I think a lot of this was already done before the virus hit, right? So now we're getting to a point where it's kind of getting like, I don't know, we might have to push some stuff. So April, I think April will be okay. May is where it's going to get interesting. Obviously, we've already lost The Last of Us. Ghost of Tsushima most likely going to be pushed. Yeah, but I'll be back for the April NPDs. And yeah, that's what I'm here for. So if there's any anomalies in that list that you think of, obviously leave me a comment, let me know what you think. I love talking about this stuff, like I said. That's why I'm doing a video on it. And now I'm gonna jump into where I think is going to, what I think is gonna do for the stocks. I cannot tell you what to buy. I'm just gonna tell you what I'm watching. I'm gonna tell you what I think is gonna happen. And hey, you do what you want with your money. I'm just saying what I think is gonna happen. All right, so Animal Crossing New Horizons. I think it did a lot better than Nintendo was thinking. I know it did a lot better than most of us were thinking. It did very well for myself personally. Sorry, I probably just hit the mic, I didn't even think about it, but that's, what is that going to do? So here's where we're at right now. Nintendo's biggest game of the year has just released. We do not know what else is coming. They have an earnings call April 27th, 24th, it's towards the end of April, and we're going to get some numbers on that, how well the Switch is doing, how well Animal Crossing New Horizons is doing, and potentially what else is coming down the pipeline. So what's this going to do for the stock? Now, for just the Animal Crossing news alone, the stock has likely and will likely go up a few bucks. This is not the type of thing, the big shifts in these stocks are generally the people who wait for the big earnings calls and then sell out when everything is a little bit higher. So I'm thinking that this one's gonna go up a few bucks just from the Animal Crossing news alone. I also think after the earnings call, it's going to have a steady decline, unless they announce something new. But as it stands, they have nothing. They have Pokemon DLC. That's it. That's not going to be enough. Pokemon DLC and Bravely Default 2. They got to have something big. Could say Zelda, but I doubt it. Most likely, the rumors have all been pointing towards a bunch of Mario remasters. I don't think remasters are going to be enough either. I think it might see a spike, but ultimately towards the end of April, I believe it is going to be on a somewhat steady decline of not like losing dollars and dollars and dollars, losing a few cents a day, everything like that. They'll bump up, but I think the increase after the earnings call will slowly dissipate beyond March and then into June. And if they don't have anything by July, it'll keep going down. I'm watching them. I don't know that I would invest in them right now. Because like I said, I think they're going to go down. And if they're going to go down, might as well wait till they go down. Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Activision. This is a stock I actually own. I own quite a bit of it. Worth mentioning that the coronavirus has not really affected much of the video game stocks that I watch. Everything else seems to be, well, it was going down, now everything's going up, but it's not really done anything to Activision's stock. Modern Warfare and the Battle Royale mode did make it bump up because, there's lots of new stuff. And then, because it had like 6 million players in a week or something like that, that's not a number to scoff at. It's not Fortnite numbers, but it's not a number to scoff at. And then, of course, Modern Warfare 2 Remastered being at number 20, that is, of course, additional sales as well. So where we're at right now, what I think is going to happen, generally in March, we have the reveal of the next Call of Duty, the Call of Duty for 2020. As I said, most likely Vietnam. This is a weird one. One that I said I already own their stock, so I'm in a weird position with it right now because I do believe that the reveal is going to up it. Now, Activision is not just Call of Duty, it is Blizzard as well. And I know that Blizzard has the World of Warcraft expansion Shadowlands, I believe it is called, which World of Warcraft expansions generally do bring in a ton of old players, which is always more profit. They generally drop off like a month later, but it's going to be profit. The combination of that and, let's just call it Call of Duty Vietnam, assuming it's revealed and that it says, hey, it is coming holiday, will most likely bump the stock. There is a caveat to this, and that is if they do not have a release date with Call of Duty. That might actually hurt it more than anything. The reveal will give it an initial boost, but here's what I think they really need to do, but I don't know if they can. I don't know if they are allowed by Sony and Microsoft simply because they have the call over this. What they want to do, what I'm sure they want to do is make Call of Duty Vietnam, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X. They want to let you know that these games are going to be on all those systems. That's ultimately going to be Sony or Microsoft's call. If they can do it, that will make the stock go up even higher. If they can't, like I said, you'll see the surge of the Call of Duty announcement. Again, this is just me assuming because they've done it every other year, but at the moment, this is a wait and see type of stock for me. I'm already invested in them, as I said. But I'm not willing to sell yet, so that's just where I'm at with them. MLB The Show, I'm not really going to talk too much about that. That's a Sony giant. At this point, we're waiting for Sony to reveal the PlayStation 5. So, and that is really where the stock is going to either go up or down. That's simply how it is. It goes up if they reveal that it is indeed coming holiday, that it is indeed... Oh boy. I've had this price debate with myself so many times, but all the new information seems to indicate that it will indeed be $500 and that they will not have as many units as they want because everything is just in flux at the moment. And yeah, I don't know. This one's weird. We're waiting on the PlayStation 5 announcement and the price and the date. I'm waiting on all that. I wouldn't, don't touch Sony. Don't bother with Sony until then, simply put. Similar to Microsoft, except Microsoft obviously is, they're not just video games. In fact, their video game market is a very, very small percentage of what they do. I do have them on my watch list, but that's not something I really invest in because I don't know a lot about their business. I strictly stick to mostly video game stocks because one time I went into natural gas and I lost a lot of money. So I do what I know now. Resident Evil 3, Capcom, not a stock I pay attention to because place I use doesn't actually have it. NBA 2K. Actually, you know what? NBA 2K, GTA 5, Borderlands 3, and Red Dead 2. These are all Take-Two properties. And that's 4 of their games in the top 20 of the NPD in North America. And at first glance, that would appear to be good. That would appear to be, yes, this is what we want. This is expected for Take-Two games. They will see a bump. It won't be huge. If they weren't in the top 20, that would be a problem. GTA 5 is expected to be in the top 10. Red Dead is expected to be in, it was probably expected to be in the top 10, but thankfully Borderlands jumped into the top 10, which is going to negate that, basically even it out. And then NBA 2K, as I said, March Madness, it is expected to be in the top 10. All of this is expected. I do not see a massive bump one way or another for these guys. And quite frankly, their stock is, their video game, they're up there with Microsoft. Their stock is very expensive. Microsoft is more expensive because obviously PCs and everything, but Take-Two's, because of GTA 5, is very much pricey. Until we know what's going on with GTA 6, I'm not touching it. Because the rumors of that, it was just, a lot of rumors been swirling around, and those are things you gotta pay attention to when you're fiddling around with stocks. Doom, Bethesda, as I've said many times, not a publicly traded company, can't do anything about that. Persona 5 Royale, I don't know. Atlas is owned by Sega, I believe. Probably a publicly traded company? I don't know, I don't watch them. And I wouldn't. Like, Persona 5 Royale, that is an anomaly, as I said. This should not be top 10. I wouldn't. It might go up, but I wouldn't fiddle with that one. Where else we at? Borderlands, Mario Kart, Nintendo. Again, that's where we're at. Neo 2, Red Dead, Yeah, all right, so pretty much all of these, we're in a wait and see pattern, unfortunately, because we don't know what's going on in the holidays. As I said, I expect Nintendo's to slowly drip downward because of the lack of new software. Not to mention, as I mentioned earlier, they are having issues pushing out new units of Switch. Despite the fact people want to buy it, they're having trouble pushing the units. So that's ultimately going to affect them if it can't be corrected. And it's not something they can just correct. It's not something they can do. They have no control over this. None of them have any control over this. So you can expect a downward spiral for them. Not, like I said, not a big one. When I say spiral, I know it sounds like dramatic, like, oh my God, a hurricane of fucking woe and destruction is coming for, no. It's at 50 something right now, $45. What's gonna drop to? Who knows? Unless they do something real stupid, but they've been pretty good about it. And then, of course, Modern Warfare. Activision Blizzard, another one worth seeing. Again, this is heavily dependent on, for me at least, what they do with Warzone and when the new Call of Duty is announced. And then for Take-Two, too expensive for my tastes. GTA 6 is really, really questionable at the moment. We don't know what's going to happen there. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it right now. Especially with the way the economy is and everything, everyone's a little iffy with their money. I know some of us got our Trump bucks, but let's just take it back for a minute and realize that investing at this time, unless you have a lot of money, is not going to make you a ton of money. That's just how it is. Because everyone wants to think that, hey, you know what, the economy's down, I can make a ton of money. Yeah, well, you're not the only guy thinking that, trust me. Or the only girl thinking that. Everyone's thinking that right now. Wait and see. I think that the upswing that these companies have just gotten, because everyone is indoors right now, is going to slowly dissipate as we get into the summer months. So pay attention to, like I said, watch Nintendo, watch Activision. Sony, again, that is heavily dependent on the PlayStation 5. Take-Two, they're not gonna announce GTA 6 anytime soon, so I wouldn't even put them on your watch list, but don't bother. And yeah, that's gonna do it for me. I actually had really fun doing this. All right, so I didn't realize that my camera has like a recording timeout, which I just hit, which means I've been going for way too freaking long. Anyways, I hope you liked what you saw, got what you needed, all that business. I love talking NPDs. I'm gonna be doing it ideally every month, ideally right when they come out, as opposed to waiting, I don't know, 5 days after or whatever like that. And I will generally talk about a few of the stocks. If it's the same guys up in the top 10, I probably won't talk a ton about them, unless they start dropping, in which case in which case, yes, I will talk about them. Just be smart with your money. Always be smart with your money. It's like my grandpa says, money don't stand still. You either make it or you lose it. That's it. Sorry. If you want to talk about video games with me, check out the links below. Check out my Discord, our Discord. We've got people talking about, we're talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake right now. Some of us are loving it, some of us are hating it. Gonna be interesting to see where that one scores next month. My prediction is number 1 on NPD. Wow, what a wild guess, right, Johnny? All right, so anyways, if you liked what you saw, got what you needed, like, comment, subscribe. See you guys in the next video. Later, Gators.